we're designers, we're creators, but we learn to queries, try to look at the data, and try to put our shoes in our project managers. We really reposition ourselves as, okay, as a UX designer, what we can contribute is much more than just delivering design.
Hello and welcome to the Design Explorers, a podcast by the Agoda design team. Agoda.com is a global digital travel platform where you can book hotels, vacation rentals, flights, and airport transfer. In this podcast, we will be sharing the awesome work of our design team, discuss interesting trends in relation to design and travel, and talk about product design in general. My name is Nachum Yamin and I will be your host for the show.
Hello, today we've got a very exciting episode. Nachum is actually not here as a co-host. Today we have Rachel as the new co-host.
Yay.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm Rachel.
With Rachel, I think there was going to be new wind, a lot of changes happening, so we'll actually have an announcement in terms of what we plan coming up at the end, so make sure to stay tuned for that until the end of the episode. But today, just to get to know our co-host Rachel, we'll just be chit-chatting on the evolution of our design team since she's been working here for around 5 years. So we'll see how that goes, her experience and history of how the team has evolved since then, and then ask some questions and compare my onboarding experience of joining this team with hers.
Awesome. Yeah, I will introduce myself a little bit. My name is Rachel. I'm from Taiwan. I've joined Agoda for 5 years at this point. I actually was on the previous episode talking about mentorship. I actually heard a lot of really good feedbacks from the listeners, so I was really happy about it. My journey started 5 years ago. So I remember it was like around the end of the year, and I got this message from the recruiter from Agoda design team from LinkedIn asking me that, hey, we're doing this recruit event in Taipei, where the city you're at right now. Would you be interested in a in-person, like coming to the event and talk to our designers and our head of design? And I was like, whoa, okay, for sure. Opportunity from Agoda. That sounds interesting. I didn't really know much about the company, but it was a very cool opportunity that located in Bangkok. So I was like, cool, I will go. So then the event happened. I went. I spoke to the head of design. I spoke to a design lead and a designer and a recruiter, kind of go through my portfolio and my experience with them. And yeah, we had a really, really great talk, and I get a full bag of very cool Agoda swag as gift. And the interesting part is that I have to go back to my office after that. So I brought a bag
day.
in the same day.
Oh no.
So I brought a bag of Agoda swag to my old job, and I was just pretending nothing happened.
Did you feel like guilty walking into your office?
A little bit. I was like, But it is how it is. And surprisingly, after I think just after a week, they wrote me an email and said that, hey, we're really impressed by the conversations. We would like to invite you to Bangkok for a second interview. There will be an on-site test, but it will be all compensation, like the flights, the hotel. You can stay up to like a couple days. They will put me somewhere near the office, because it is an opportunity that will relocate you. So they do want you to kind of have a little time to experience the city. They can also provide like property viewings if you want. So I was like, this is very flattering, and I was really happy, and like I never been to Thailand ever before this job opportunity came. So I was really excited, and I decided like, yes, I will go, like even just for the sake of like traveling.
Right.
Yeah, so I packed my bag, I come for the interview. I met with the head of design again. I met with other design managers, performed the design task, and had a presentation and all. Yeah, that was kind of just like one day of the 4-day packed interviews and test. But then after that, it was I have the property viewings, and I walk around the cities, and I remember that centration of the city, it's so high, like everything, it's so contrast and colors, colorful, and so exciting, so vibrant, and I was mesmerized by that. Like,
wow,
even just the mall, decorations. Like, it got me really excited. And I feel like as a designer, because I have been working in design, I think 4 or 5 years at that point. Mm-hmm. And the whole city, the city vibe really excites me and feels like very new things to be.
Yeah. And
I was really happy about it.
At that point, did you have a mind like, oh, this is just a vacation, I'm just taking a look, and did you know at a certain point of the trip you were like, okay, this is a real possibility that I'll move here?
I think I wasn't very sure during the interview. I think in the end of the interview, we talk about expectations and what the potential growth in this company, etc. Mm-hmm. But I think it hits me after, like, I was in a city, like, wandering, traveling a little bit. Like, that made me feel like, oh, okay, this could be a real possibility for me to live here.
Right. So yeah. You were able to imagine your own lifestyle in Bangkok while you were traveling.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
That was, like, really fun experience. And luckily, after I returned to Taiwan, it was really funny because it's the first day. It was only a week apart, but it's the first that we go back to the office because it was during a long vacation in Taiwan. So on the first day back to the office, I got an email that said you're hired, and I was like, ah!
Oh no!
How do I continue the day of my work? And I remember I was smiling so hard in my little cubicle, and I was like, oh my god, I got a job. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what happened next?
The rest is, just visas, and have to come up with the courage to talk to my manager that right. I found this new amazing opportunity. It's a lot to plan, like the visa, the relocation, and telling my family that I'm moving to Thailand, because I used to live abroad, but not like this is an open end. It is not a 1-year exchange program or something. This is like I'm going away, like, to work and start a new life, and all of my family is they were shocked, but they were happy for me. And then it was just, farewell dinners, meals, and then packing. And then I got here.
Back then, it was definitely pre-COVID. How did you spend the first few weeks or months at the company?
Yeah, so I think when we are pre-COVID, right now it's still because it's a relocation, the first month they put us in a hotel when you relocate from another country, so I was able to stay in a hotel that's super close to the train stations, that is very easy to go to the office. So I stayed there for a month, and during that month I was looking for apartments and checking out the neighborhood, etc.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you mentioned when we talked about this previously was that you came here alone, right? You didn't know anyone here.
True, yeah.
How did you spend your free time?
Actually, I brought my mom. So,
Wow.
so it was a month of the hotel stay, and I brought my mom because I think she would be more comfortable if she can like be part of the property viewing process, and also I think like a lot of the older generations, like they probably don't know that much about Thailand either. Like they didn't know much either. So I feel like it would be a piece of a peace of mind for her to also see where I will be working, where I will be living, that it will be safe and it will be okay. So I brought her to join me like for 2 weeks, and then we were like going through property viewing. We were doing some tour sightseeing tours, etc. So that's kind of how I spent like the first 2 weeks before onboarding to the office. So I actually didn't start working soon as I arrived. I spent 2 weeks just doing touring, sightseeing, and property viewing, and then start my job on the day in middle of like my stay in the hotel.
After you have joined, you didn't know anyone in the team. I think slowly, as you got closer together with them, I would imagine things could get lonely sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. It is like a strange feeling that you don't know anyone, but also it was a really interesting period of time where the design team was growing very fast. So from that, just from that recruiting trip in Taiwan, I think we were able to recruit 5 to 8 designers from that trip, and all of us joined around the same time. But I joined a company when we have about 20 designers, and within a year we are 45. So there was a lot of new joiners, and like most of the new joiners are like me, that who don't know anyone, doesn't have friends. This is the first time living in Thailand. So we were able to like very connected, like bonded in this way that we don't know each other. Like, so we will hang out a lot at work, after work. There's like happy hour. We go out for drinks. We would do like board games. Like we are like exploring the city together because we don't know anyone.
Right. I mean, that must have been fun because I think it's a different story for myself. During the time that I joined, it was mid-COVID, and so everyone was working from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I felt that disconnect that comes with the challenge of joining a remote team.
Yeah, I would be interested. Yeah, it must be a very different experience for you to be on board during pandemic. I bet this happened in a lot of like in every company, but I'm curious, like, how is it when you onboard the company? Like, what sort of support that you were given? Because I mean, for us, we were the people who are existing. We were also panicking, like, oh my god, we're hiring people during pandemic. We don't know what to do. There's no handbook of telling us how do we, like, how do we help another person, a new joiner, like in my team. Because before, when we in the office, we had this buddy system. So the person sits next to you. It's your buddy. You ask them anything, like set up printers, where to eat, where is pantry, where's the free milk, when does the fruit comes out, etc. That's your buddy. But when pandemic hits, we were also, as designer, like just teammates, we were also like panicking. Oh my god, how are we gonna help this new joiner on board a team? There's so many things to tell them.
Right. Yeah, so I have somewhat of a different experience because I was an intern before. So I think the basic stuff was there, like how do I connect to the internet or the VPN and those type of things, right? I think especially if you're just joining fresh to the design team and don't know a lot of these things, you were just sent a laptop to your home address and that's all you got. And so I think I took it easier compared to other people onboarding remotely. But even then, I think the difference between in-person and remote is mainly the connection. I remember really pushing myself to make connections because it doesn't happen naturally. I think we did have the buddy system even when I was onboarding, but even then I wasn't physically present next to my buddy, right? I had to message them. Sometimes I wouldn't know what is the norm in terms of how stupid of a question I can ask. And so I was always that pressure or ambiguity that you had to kind of settle in. And even then, after you know your buddy, you've talked to your stakeholders that you work with day to day, who's the rest of the team? I think there wasn't a very established system, although like they would give you a list of people that you may or may not work together in the next few months. Even then, like there were no interaction points, no water cooler conversations that we would have in the office. So yeah, I remember scheduling one-on-ones with everyone and trying to go through the list as fast as possible because I hated seeing names on Slack channels that I didn't know.
Yeah, I think that happens even like in office, right? Like I probably feel a little more comfortable because everyone is the same level of not knowing anything. But to be honest, like the online like onboarding and virtual, even today I still have colleagues that have joined maybe a year at this point that I haven't seen them in person at all. But yeah, like every time we get the chance to see each other, it's like, oh, you're taller than I thought. You're smaller than I thought. You.
Surprisingly, I get that a lot. Oh, you're taller. You're shorter than I thought. And I think when I was an intern, I didn't meet anyone from that team in person. And at the end of the internship, I think my manager asked me, like, if I saw you in public, would you notice me? And I'm like, everyone's wearing a mask. I don't know how tall you are, how you walk, or anything other than your face. I don't think I would recognize you. And I think that was the norm and expectation. So yeah, it's a very different world now. So sometimes when I walk through the office, there are instances where I see people like that I've seen on screens but never in person. It's like, oh my god, you're a real person. Nice to meet you. So yeah, those are fun times and we're excited to finally get back in the office, I think coming soon. And yeah, hopefully I know how to, say hi and bye correctly, because those things don't happen anymore. It's just like, I'll see you later and call. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It will be very interesting. Since our company, the policy, we were coming back to office a couple days a week starting in July. It will be very interesting to see like how to human.
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to be a challenge.
Speaking of like the evolution of design team, I think that one of my main takeaway, like from what I've seen this 5 years, when I joined, when we have only 20-ish people, we're dealing with 40, 50 project managers at the time. It was a lot of things to handle for every designers. So then that's why we expand like very quickly. We try to keep the ratio as one designers for one project, one product manager, and to kind of shift the position of service provider to collaboration. So it's a less single communication from what the project manager wants to a collaboration between the designers.
Yeah, and I think based on my experience in talking to people within the team that have been here for much longer, there have been some evolution within the team in terms of how mature or how the company perceives the role of design. And I think, as you mentioned, we want to move towards more of a collaborative role with the product managers in terms of us contributing to the strategy rather than being the hand in delivering design handoffs. So I think in that sense we have evolved, and I think there are a lot of examples that you might have.
Yeah, I think we're designers, we're creators, but we learn to queries, try to look at the data, and try to put our shoes in our project managers. We really reposition ourselves as, okay, as a UX designer, what we can contribute is much more than just delivering design. We conduct user research, we collect feedbacks. There's a lot of initiatives that are encouraged by this company and the team. So we were able to kind of show the project managers, hey, we can do this. We also provide insights for roadmaps for next quarter, what we can do. And from there, little by little, we started to get more trust. We started to get more collaboration from the more willing from the project managers. It was still a ongoing battle, I would say, but it has been through a lot.
Yeah, and in terms of design maturity, our organization's not at the top for sure. I think there's a lot of potential that designers can contribute to.
Yeah.
And so I'm really looking forward to see how this change, and also be part of that change as well. And yeah, with this podcast, with Rachel coming in as the new co-host, we are expecting some changes in how we want to present some of these information. And so we've recently received a lot of listener questions about the type of information that you guys are interested in. What is it like working in a specific team, like core team, travel platform, enterprise? And we realized that there's not a lot of visibility unless you work here. And so we'll be trying to interview with people, have guests that could help our audience understand what each team does in detail in the upcoming episodes, so stay tuned.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you are listening, and share it with your friends and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe to our show to get notified when we are releasing a new episode. And if you want to learn more about the work of the design team at Agoda, visit agoda.design. Thanks again for listening, and hope to see you in our next episode.